Why did it take us? Doesn't it usually take us to YouTube?
I don't know.
I
It
don't
says
remember
live.
either.
It says we're
It's
live.
it says we're live.
Yeah, I saw a little. It says we're live.
Okay. So I got some little things to put on my desk. Well, I bought this like months ago. I was gonna put it on the wall to write things, and it erases. It's still in the package. I'm trying. I'm trying to get there. How was your week?
So, do you want to introduce everybody to the channel?
Oh, hi everybody. Welcome to our channel. I'm Stacy Karma. My topics are usually political, but we're going to venture out and cover other topics, just everyday topics like, oh, you know what that orange is? Sorry, guys. I just realized something. It's gone, isn't it?
Yes.
I have a sunset light. Oh, Bonnie's on here. Okay, so welcome to my channel. Sorry, we were trying to figure out the lighting, and since we're in different states, and my brother's the techie guy, and I am not, he's kind of making fun of me, telling me I looked orange, but I did because I have a sunset light. I don't know what it's for. I got it at the digging store for 50 cents.
Okay.
But in any case, welcome to my channel. This is my brother Bryan. We're in sibling chat. And we're covering a whole bunch of different topics. Mostly things that have gone on this week, which a lot's gone on this week. I mean, I don't know if you noticed how late Congress was in session last night. I was watching it. No, you weren't watching it, were you?
No, I figured after 8 I was kind of done. And it went to what, 15? 15 and your bar fight, which I thought was a bit more interesting. I will say that there are a few folks that I've lost a lot of respect for.
Like?
Crenshaw.
Oh, I lost respect for him a while ago.
And
he's like a sellout.
Green. Lost.
Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Yep.
Because she backed McCarthy?
Yeah, and as far as I'm concerned, Trump can stay wherever he's at because he backed McCarthy, who never backed him. So I don't get it. It's a sign of him not having all of his facets together. You're going to go up against somebody who they had shadow money. This is what I'm hearing, that they had shadow money that went up against Republican candidates in other states who were anti-McCarthy or anti-McConnell, and back those. I mean, from what I understand and from what I've heard, the Republican coffers are close to empty, and not like empty, but enough to say you backed candidates that were not from the Freedom Caucus.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Freedom Caucus person. I could care less about either party right now.
You're kind of staticky. Yeah. Susan, is he staticky? Can you, when you're watching? Hi, Susan. Hope you're well. Susan has been with me for quite a few years in our Patriot group, our research group. Love me some Susan.
Sorry.
Yeah, maybe it'll get better.
Okay. But
it was McCarthy's turn. Welcome to the Republican. That's the thing. Yes. Okay. So you are just a little bit staticky. I don't know why. You know, McCarthy. When I found out McCarthy backed Amanda Atkins here in Kansas, she had the backing of him, and she needed to be the one that was chosen to run against Sharice Davids. I was out. She was already a known loser. She already lost against her once. And then for the Kansas Republican Party to say, but McCarthy backs Amanda. He doesn't get to pick.
You know, and I'm wanting to know what Gates made, what deal he made to support McCarthy. I don't know what deal was made.
Did he support? Who was? I didn't see.
No, he didn't. He didn't support. He did a present vote.
Okay, I was wondering who did the present votes. Does anybody know who did the present votes? Who's on our live?
There were 20 present votes, which made it to where he only needed to get two.
Last night at the end.
216.
Last night at the end, if my memory what is correct, they were down to 5 present votes.
Okay, so maybe it was 5 or 6, but I want to know what the deal was, because I know that the Freedom Caucus folks who were voting or saying present instead of voting were looking for term limits on themselves, looking at being able to oust the speaker via vote anytime they want. And there was one other big one that I was in support of, which was...
What do they mean by ousting the speaker?
Well, like if the speaker makes deals and then doesn't follow through on those deals, you can be voted out. You can be kicked out, and they get a new speaker. They would have to vote speaker.
I don't know if you saw the short I did when they, was it Matt that nominated Trump?
I saw that Trump got nominated. I thought it was interesting, but I also know that was just more of a grandstanding, in my opinion. Who's the girl from Colorado?
Lauren Boebert, I just saw her name. Her and Marjorie Taylor Greene were tight up until this, and she's like, "Screw you, Marjorie."
Yeah, like I said, I want to know what deals were made to get
Marjorie got picked to be on committees, guaranteed, because she was kicked off all the other committees. So she was.
I know what the other one was. What the deal actually, one of the deals that they got was that all of the Freedom Caucus, 6 of them, are going to be on the Rules Committee to decide what comes to the House floor for vote, so they can start axing out some of these bills that are coming in, like the spending bill that we just approved not so long ago. That all that money is going to to go and help a group that Zelensky said that wasn't enough money, 45 trillion or something.
I can't with him. I cannot with Zelensky. I'm so over that. Here's the thing: is one of the biggest things that I'm going to pay attention to. Yes, Susan says Lauren Boebert. Yeah,
she's a little hottie.
I'm going to watch McCarthy. I'm going to see if the 87,000 IRS agents get booted. I'm going to be following to see if that gets done.
I'm interested to see if that actually takes place, because I understand that the budget was approved for that already. So it's hard when a budget's already approved to.
But I think didn't they
back it out?
Let me give myself a note, because I want to know if that budget it's not in the omnibus. It's got to be in the Defense Act, because they put a lot of bullshit in that National Defense Act, that budget.
I thought it was approved back in October. I thought that's when Biden signed it in, saying that he'd approved it, and that the IRS was going to get 87 or 81,000 agents.
I think that's in the defense bill.
And I saw some videos online last year of the training that they were doing. It was hilarious. All these millennials with plastic guns, and it's like, you guys,
I can't. First of all, I can't see a millennial wanting to carry a gun because they're so anti-gun.
Oh, no. They're anti-gun unless they're given authority. Imagine the ego that's going to be in a lot of these people, like with some police officers, that you put a badge on them and you give them a gun, all of a sudden now they can do whatever they want in their minds. Now, I think that these IRS agents are going to have that little thing that we'll call a chip on their shoulder, and we'll see. It'll be interesting if it does go into effect, how long it lasts.
Susan, I think Congress could reallocate those funds since they've already been approved to put them on the border, but Congress has to change the bill.
But the
Congress can do anything.
Yeah, but the Senate's the ones that'll have to.
Right, and the Senate. I mean,
we don't have the Senate is controlled where it's controlled, and
with Turtlehead Mitch
McConnell. This is where the term limits need to be approved. This is where, I don't have a problem with somebody doing a 10-year stint or a 12-year stint. Call it whatever you want. Because I think if you put in the term limits, they're more apt to try to get things done because they have a limited amount of time.
I agree.
Kind of like a governor in their last year, the lame duck years, but they can push stuff through and do whatever they want because they don't have to wait do anything for re-election. They don't have to appease anybody. All of a sudden, you start seeing who they really are.
Someone wants to be on camera.
Of course.
Say hi, Tess. Here, Tess. Treats.
But I think that if they put the term limit in, the only problem I have that I see that'll come from the term limits is that the one positive that I can see right now with them being in there so long is that they get lifetime health care and all that other stuff.
I think they have to serve more than one term to get all the lifetime benefits. I will check that. I think it's more than one term.
Because if we have a rotation of all these people coming in, can you imagine how many people are going to be on the books after 12 years, after 10 years?
I got another.
Expensive enough to, I heard a very interesting thing considering Congress, that Congress had a net positive on all their portfolios from an investment perspective. Go figure. One congressman who's unnamed had a 50% increase in his portfolio last year. I wonder.
I can't.
It wasn't Pelosi.
Well, because she's hiding her stuff because Jesse Waters has been all over that Paul Pelosi shit.
Oh, yeah.
Jesse Waters has been on it.
Yeah.
And he's ready to go to court. I watched some clip and he had 30 minutes. The county did, or the city, to release Paul Pelosi's video, the dash cam and all that stuff, or they were going to go to court. And Jesse Waters was ready.
Well, if like you and I have talked off stream, is that if you're going to go up against the big dog, you better have a backup plan, or you better have your ducks in a row, and you better be ready for a fight.
Right, because you covered that, and I think I did a short on it about there's 3 types of bullies, because that really struck home with me. There's the bully that backs down. There's the bully that will fight you, and there's the bully, as you said, will smile at you, walk away, and screw your life up 10 ways to Sunday. And the big bully is the government.
Right, and they can do that.
Oh, yes, they can.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm trying to avoid jumping around like we have been, but there's things that have been happening.
But this because it incorporates the 87,000 IRS agents with the National Defense Act, that budget, and McCarthy getting into office. I'm going to be watching him.
Well, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what deals he made and how soon those deals go into effect. Because
the first one better be the 87,000 IRS agents.
I don't know if that was it or if it was something else. But and
I love. Did you see them nominate the Hakeem Jeffries, make him the first Black Speaker of the House? Why you gotta throw race into it?
It's a card that gets played a lot. It's a
which
card
has
that
no meaning anymore. It means nothing.
it means nothing to somebody like yourself or somebody like me who have heard it so much that you just kind of go, okay, great. But
It's just
for
another
some,
name.
well, and it's back to like the first female referee in the NFL or the first female coach to coach a men's team or something. You know, there's just things that get played, and it's so overplayed right now, and
It's lost all meaning.
well, it it only keeps its meaning because it feeds their base. You have to think about what their base is.
That's
Don't
true.
think about yours. Think about what their base is looking for.
But here's the thing is,
And hold one thing,
okay,
just because of how that base is and how that base acts, you have to remind yourself when you hear certain things that get passed or that are topics or that you're like, okay, I've heard that 1,000 times. You're
now
tired. They're not.
here's the other thing I wanted you to talk about. We discussed earlier this week, which was, I'm still in shock, and I've mentioned this to several people, the Illinois laws.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember their exact name, but essentially it's a no bail for crimes less than murder. So you can be arrested and they let you go. There is no bail. You don't have to make bail. You appear in court and then you're gone.
So
Unless murder. And then there's another one, and I can't now this one.
That's the squatter one, right?
Yeah, the one where if somebody wanted to live in your front yard, you can't evict them. I don't know if that took place already, but I know that there's a lot of squawking about it, and I don't know what that's going to look like, but it is in Illinois. I know that it was passed, but I think it's from their
Maybe it's not been ratified yet.
I don't know. I know that it was talked about a lot where you can't throw people off your property. As long as they're not coming into your home, you can't throw them off your property. It's like a different type of squatting that they can do. But yeah, that's out there, or at least it was talked about. I want to say in the fall last year, and after a certain time, I just get tired of.
I forget. There was a couple.
Illinois doesn't shock me anymore. Chicago does not shock me anymore.
It doesn't with me either. And for them to go with no bail, it's because we know. I mean, what got me started in all this was the justice system and the no bail thing. Considering all the Zoom courts I've watched, which, wow, there are some dumb people in this country.
Well, you know
but there's so many. So you said you have your first appearance where they talk about your bond. And then you have 4 more appearances before you even get to a trial, if you even get that far. And all the ones that they're pleading out prior to any kind of trial is all probation. Well, what does probation equal? Money. Money. But to see some of them, and as soon as I think I need to get a different video card, so I could have my second monitor or one of these gadgets I picked up at the Diggins store may work. So we could Zoom some of it, so we can watch some of these cases, because I can't get past, there was a judge in Kansas, and the judge says to the gal, "How old are you?" And the girl goes, 32, and you? Now, mind you, this girl, I know what not to do in court.
Oh yeah, no, you have to also recognize that there is a lack of respect for authority, and I'm not saying that you have to like bow down and kiss the feet of judges and all.
But there's a certain expectation, and it's always been like that.
There's an etiquette that you need to follow, right?
And how I don't understand when some of these people lost the understanding of that. I have never been to court into a trial, and even I know you don't do that. Okay, I only know about that. Well, I mean, I did say something to a judge when we lived in Texas at one point. I think mom and dad wanted to kill me when I said it. But I remember, but now looking back, I mean, I was a young kid. I wasn't a 32-year-old woman talking back to a judge.
Well, we've seen some live court streams as well, and it's mostly juveniles, and you watch their reaction. Like there was one girl in, I think it was Texas, and she was just like very disrespectful to the
I'm
judge,
surprised they did
and
juvenile
she
Zoom.
and oh yeah. Well, the parents have to appear and all of that. They're already in their
Second or third stage of appearances.
but like every 10 days they have to appear, and there's somebody from the facility that says, yeah, they've been good behavior, they've been this, they've been that, or they haven't been, and the judge says something to them into the effect of, because of your behavior, we're keeping you another 10 days, and then they get rude or whatever, and then when they get up, and this girl gets up and starts yelling in the hallway, and the judge goes, bring her back, bring her back. They brought her back, and she was, and he brought her back, I think 2 or 3 times, until she finally realized that she wasn't in control. And that's where a lot of these kids today are feeling like their opinion matters. Whatever they want to do, they can do whenever they want to do it, and to hell with whatever you think. It's a level of selfishness that.
And what's amazing to me is, why didn't the parents check that kid? I would have strangled my kid.
Well, but that's the thing. You also have to realize that single parent households, you've got kids who like some of the worst ones are the ones who have like the least amount of real blocks in their life of having to.
They don't have parents like us.
Well, they don't really have a struggle, so they have to create one. They have to create whatever it is so that they have that. It's like the emo kids back in the 90s who, oh, I've got everything I ever wanted, but my parents don't, whatever, it's that whole.
Well, they
don't struggle anymore, so they have to manufacture one, and they create them that are so well. They create them so well that they don't realize the ramifications of some of the stuff that they're doing. And some of the wealthiest people have the most screwed up kids. And you would think that if you had.
The other thing that society has done is made it way too easy for the kids to call and say, my mother's beating me, my father's beating me, right, and to get them in trouble. When we were growing up, you were getting an ass beating and there was no one you could call.
Yeah, you had to show up with bruises, and somebody else had to make that call for you.
And then you're not showing the bruises, because I remember one spanking I got when I called mom the B word, and dad's metal belt hit my finger and it made me bleed. But I never called mom the B word again.
Nope. You do it all the time now, though.
I do not. I don't. Mom, I don't. He's lying. Don't lie. Mom's on here. But just that the court Zooms are, to watch some of these is just, some of these judges, I'm like, kudos to you. You go, girl. You go, judge. You get it. But so
you get to see the dregs of society.
Yeah. And I now make a point. So I got up extra early Friday because I didn't want to miss being able to say good morning to Judge Middleton, because he turns the comments on before court starts in the morning.
Okay.
I was up to dark 30 because they're an hour ahead of me and I wasn't going to miss the court. My notification didn't come in time. I missed to say good morning, Judge.
Oh, heaven forbid. There's got to be another day when you can do it again.
Well, I think I did it. I think he did it that afternoon, which is odd because he doesn't usually do that. But he's like since I've been laid off, but he's been a constant staple for me and education because he explains things. So when he's done doing all of his docket, he will go into more detail of what actually took place.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had to appear in front of a judge, I'd want to appear in front of him. I would not want to appear in front of the Kansas judge where the one girl asked her 32 and you because she does the stare down via Zoom. And all I kept thinking was, could you imagine the next defendant that had to come after that girl was probably petrified.
Well, yeah, you just got the judge up in a higher elevated state. Not something you want to be dealing
But
with.
the judge was actually cool afterwards, especially when it came to Billy Jack Daniels, his case.
Who's
Billy Jack Daniels, and he was sitting there on a hammock on Zoom court.
Oh, they had him all wrapped up so he couldn't move.
No, he was outside in a hammock. And the judge loved him.
Good.
Loved him. He's like, she's like, you could pay this fine and do something, but he's like, I'll pay the fine and can I start my 5 days in jail now on this date instead of waiting so I can get it over with so I can go to work? And she's like, oh yeah. She was like, anything you want. She got all the way through the docket. The girl that she was struggling with was the last one. She was the first girl on the docket. Judge paused her, said, hang on, little bitch. I'll come back to you. Paused her, went through the rest of her docket, then came back to her. That girl, the sheriff's department was on their way to get her, and the judge says, I'm taking care of your transportation problem and your gas issue right now. They're on their way. Booyah. Yeah. So I did a short on watching these Zoom courts. One, I also think it keeps judges honest. If you're showing your courtroom live, you can't bend the rules.
No, it's not so much about bending the rules. I don't think the judges are bending the rules; they're interpreting them because the cases that you either hear about or aren't televised. The stuff you're seeing.
Well, the stuff I'm seeing state courts because federal they're not allowed to have cameras.
Right. So.
Damn it.
Well, you have to know that the judges are how they interpret the law. For the local courts, I don't have a problem with a lot of the local courts. It's the federal ones where they start interpreting a certain way, like depending on what's being presented to them. They don't look at it sometimes from a constitutional perspective, or they don't look at it from a what has been done in the past, but they make their own little interpretation, and unfortunately that backfires going forward because now you've got a precedent, and now you've got to deal with that going forward, which means essentially the loopholes that you hear about. Oh, there's a loophole in this law. It's because of an interpretation that happened in the past.
Yeah. But I will say when it comes to the laws, they're very literal. There's no gray area. When they write something, when they say that's what it means. There's no, let me interpret it. What I've ran against when I was fighting with the VA over a rule that cost my employer $500,000 based on the information provided from the VA at the time, that all the information we got from the VA that we were doing it correctly, they came back and said, oh, we were wrong, but guess what? You have to pay for it. I was fighting it. When's the first day of the new Congress beginning? He swore him in last night.
Swore him in last night. I think the first day is, I want to say it's this coming week, but
It should be.
It should be. I know it's before the end of the month.
I'll look it up real quick while we're sitting here talking. There's just a lot of stuff that when you watch it, I tell everyone now that people should watch these Zoom courts, even if they go and they watch like January 23rd. Bonnie just said, to watch them. There's some commentators out there that will, play the Zoom and they're lawyers and they talk about it or they point out, stupid stuff. But I watched one case where I'm like, I rewound the video 5 times. I still did not catch the guy's first name or last name and how the magistrate got it right out of the gate. I'm like, I still can't understand his name. And this is the other thing I've noticed. Wow. When they say, do you have anyone that can vouch for you appearing on your bond? This particular one, he's like, well, my mom's dead, my brother's dead, my sister's dead, my cousin's dead. I just have my Meemaw and Papa. He didn't ask for a storyline. But all of them. One of them, he's like, are you from here? She's like, no, and went through her whole entire genealogy of where she's lived all of her life. He didn't ask for that either.
That's why I hate call-in shows. I hate them. I hate call-in shows because
when people call in, do they still do that?
They call in, and it's like, this is the topic. They call in, and they're so far off topic. And well, do you know what the topic is? No, it's like they call in. So
they're just excited to get through, to get the ring.
Right. So back to your court thing, it's more of the people already have things in their mind that they want to say. And no matter what it is, they're going to say it. So it could be like their way of trying to defend themselves, and they have to do a life story.
And some of these people, it hurts them. And even when they have a public defender, the public defender's like, yeah, and they just keep going and they just keep digging themselves in. I'm like,
it's like watching the live patrol stuff that replaced that, and it's like, put your hands on your head. What? It's like, no, put your hands on your head. That's what he's telling you to do. And it's like, it takes like 20 times before people realize to put their hands on their head. And I'm like, they should just arrest you now for being stupid.
Right. And I tell everyone, because I used to watch a lot of those cop ones, when they say they're going to release the dog, just give up.
Yes.
Yeah, just give up.
Just stop.
I watched one. This cop said, are you sure you want to do this? Because I'm going to release my 100-pound Belgian Malinois, and he's going to bring you out of that car. The dog did. And it was from the driver's side, and the dog brought him out the passenger side. And it was the first video I had seen when it came to dogs, the police dogs, that I saw blood.
They're not.
And they have to use a metal thing to unlock the dog's jaw. So when they say, I'm going to release the dog, just say, I give.
Yeah, you just whatever.
But because the Belgian Malinois are badass. They can climb walls. They can climb trees. They were going to eat you. I still want one.
Yeah, it's just interesting how people in general can't follow instructions, verbal instructions. And I don't know if it's because they're heightened adrenaline, because your adrenaline's got to be going. I mean, even
right.
Get pulled over, your adrenaline kind of picks up a little bit, because I got pulled over for speeding. I think it's over a year ago, and I remember.
Porsche?
No. They wouldn't have let me off in that one, but I kept my hands on the wheel, and I knew that my registration and everything was in right above my hands, and I let the police officer know I'm going to grab my registration, and I did, and I gave it to him, and I go, I'm going to grab my wallet. And he said, okay. And I grabbed my wallet, and I held it right here. And I did it.
How sad is it that we have to do you ever remember doing that as a kid, getting pulled over?
I don't remember. I only got pulled over the one time as a kid. Um, yeah, but some of us were better drivers than others.
Oh
So,
hell. Some of us, because you had already moved out of the house, were friends with the cops. And when I got my first MIP, mom knew before I even got home.
so
But the last time we got pulled over, we were in our Jeep. Mike pulls over. I lean over, we have the doors off. It's summertime. I lean over and I'm to the cop. I'm like, "Are you really pulling us over?" It had been so long since we'd been pulled over. Mike's like, "Yeah, the lights are on." It was all over. The license plate didn't have the light was out,
uh-huh.
but I still thought, "Are you really pulling us over?" I was shocked. I'm like, but the last ticket I got, I'm like, "I'm in a hybrid. What? Like you can't speed in a hybrid car?"
Oh, you can.
Yeah.
You can.
But that was I'm in a hybrid.
I've
What?
had a few Teslas roll up on me when I'm in my other car, and I don't care. You're faster than me. Just know that.
Oh no.
I I
I
don't.
hit I hit my
I bought my car because there's only maybe 5 in the entire state, so I'm one of 5, and that's why I got it mostly was because I don't want to own something that everybody else has. So I was very picky. It was either that or a Lotus, and I know there's only one of those in our state. So
well, I have a button on my car that you can put it into sport mode. And when I hit sport mode, it tightens down the suspension and grips.
mhm.
Oh, I take off. I usually just drive in comfort though. I will
But
never buy another car with a sports package because the seats are so damn hard.
yeah, you do have to remember those things.
I mean,
So
my car's 9
I'm
years old with 70,000 miles on it.
yeah,
I don't drive,
yeah.
but in any case.
So
So
I'm gonna change the subject real
go
quick.
ahead.
Talk about a comment made by somebody on a TV show about how football should be stopped, professional football, because of what happened on Monday. It starts with the and ends with view. They're calling
Oh God, the view. Those idiots.
right. So you can have your opinion about what football is, but that incident that happened on Monday
Was a fluke.
had nothing to do with what happened on the field. It had to do with the person's health.
He did have a heart attack, right?
He had a heart attack. He was resuscitated for 9. They performed CPR for 9 minutes on him before they took him off the field and got him to the hospital. You know, and this is one of those things where, right now nobody is questioning certain things online. In fact, I've seen a few creators that I follow that said, you know what, I'm not going to talk about it right now. I just want to make sure the guy's okay. He's going to get through this, and then we'll talk about how or why it happened. And I was listening to Mr. Poole a few days ago.
Did that guy get the jab?
That's where we're kind of headed. I'm not going to bring that up, but if the view is going to sit here and say, get rid of football, it's like, okay, now let's look into it. And if it had anything to do with the jab, you need to shut your hole.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. There's a website out there where you can find out all of the athletes that have died since 2020. And there's like 1,500 athletes, people under 30 in the top condition for
Since
their sport
2020?
since 2020. It's like
Okay.
1,500. Do you know how many athletes under 30 who have died up to that point in the last 38 years?
How many?
Less than 1,000 in 38 years.
And we've had 1,500, you said?
1,502. So the thing is, and they're calling it sudden death, and I think it's heart issues. There's no way people under 30 have this many heart issues in
Right.
this
And
short a period of time who are in their top peak physical condition for their sport. A lot of them are soccer players. There's like a lot of soccer players.
Epoch Times did it.
Even
Epoch Times did a segment on that.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
and then they reported on that insurance company. It was out of Indiana, I want to say, and they were having, the CEO was having a call, and he thought everybody was off except his employees, and started talking about that the rate of death between 18 to 34 in males was off the charts.
it's up. It's up, and it has nothing to do with lifestyle or activities. It has to do with just like there was, and this is anecdotal, or not anecdotal, but to me it's anecdotal because I have no way of proving it. But there was somebody I was listening to, and they said, yeah, there was, I think it was in Canada in the summer, this lady who was under 30, riding a jet ski with her friends. They look back and she's doing just fine. And a minute later, they look back and she's in the water, dead. And
Susan, I think you're right. Susan, here, I'll put it back. Do you see that on the screen?
Jab on, I read he got the jab on 12/26. 12/26 of this year or 12/20?
Yeah, this year.
So he must have gotten the booster then, because to play in the NFL, you had to have it. And I don't think he's a rookie. I think he's in his 4th year. So he must have gotten a booster then on the 26th. But
which it occurred to me a couple weeks ago with all the deaths. I'm like, oh, for the love of God, my son took the jab.
So did mine. And I'm concerned about that, but there's some things that are happening, like in Canada now. They just call it sudden death. They have no explanation for it. It's just you just die.
In Canada? Well, now Canada's euthanizing people for free.
Well, they should probably do that down here, because there's a few people on those Zoom trials that probably could use.
I mean, I think some of these politicians should volunteer for euthanasia. Well, I'm just saying, like Trudeau.
I don't call for I'm kidding. I'm not calling for the death of anybody. I think that's a very drastic measure. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're feeling bad, figure out what it is and do something to make yourself happy. Because I don't think that.
But I will tell you, that's easier said than done.
Well, I thought I was depressed whenever I came home from working from home instead of being in an office setting. And it's taken me a while to get adjusted, because you don't feel that connection to people. You don't feel like you're collaborating like you used to. There's a certain socialization that
there is,
that you have to have. And even now, like today, I put away all the Christmas stuff, and then went to a couple of comic book stores and hung out with some friends and said, and I do that. Hold on, I do that every Saturday. Up to that point, I don't leave the house. Even whenever I have my gym in the garage. I got a heavy bag in the garage where I do my kickboxing workouts and all of that. And so essentially going to the garage and doing a workout is me leaving the house.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but before the pandemic and before, I worked from home for almost 5 years, and it was 6 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore, because one, you lose your social skills. Your filter, I don't have a filter.
I know.
It started because I worked from home.
Yeah.
And then I went back into a banking environment, office environment. It took me a little time to adjust, and I thought, I am never going remote again.
Mm-hmm.
Went remote again. And when you can recognize it, and people are like, "Oh, you're remote. That's great." No, it's not. It's
No,
not for everyone.
no, it's not. And I think that, you know, I think that, you know, people, if they do have questions about what they're dealing with, because I found myself, and this is embarrassing, but I found myself telling myself negative things about myself, because it
No,
was,
that can happen.
but and it was you're not doing enough, you're not really contributing. It's only a matter of time until they fire you because you don't really do anything of value, you know. And I get a lot
I
of stuff done. I mean, I get up at 7 and I work until 6.
productivity, you can get a lot done when you work remote, but I tell a lot of people, and hopefully someone who has been in this position will take this if they're feeling down. Get a core group of friends. My friends now know if they send me a text and I don't respond in a certain amount of time, like within 24 hours or 48 hours, then that means they're calling me.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that lifeline.
Yeah, you need to have your group that you at least talk to somebody every week, and or you're, you know. And
But they force me, they still, and to this day, they force me out of the house
yeah,
because I'll just get stuck here because it's a
every
bubble. I'm safe in the bubble.
every Friday I go and meet and have away time from the house every Friday, and then Saturday I have my go out to the comic book store. I mean, even if I don't need to go to the comic book store, I know the guys that own it, so we end up talking for a few hours. I was there today. It was great. Went to another one of the guy that I'm starting to get to know, and it's good. It's nerdy, but it's different. And
I go to the digging store. I go on 50 cents day to the Amazon return stores on 50-cent day. The cashier now knows my face and tells me what to look for. The
right,
security guard and I have become friends
yeah,
because I'm like, dude, you're not the guy that took my purse and maybe put it in a lock bag. He's like, oh, that's the weekend guy. So, and then I talk to people. So I'm
right.
getting some interaction. Now I'm going to, I have an interview Monday that's it's a retail job, but it's going to get me out of the house. It's going to get me in front of people.
Well, a job, you know, the thing is that you want to change what you're doing, and the best way to do that is to just take something now. Granted, may not be at the level of pay you want,
It's
or
not even close. But here's the thing is, so for like in the mortgage industry, which I saw somewhere, oh, they're predicting a recession in 2023. Hey, dumbasses, we've been there. It's already there. I
yeah,
told you this.
it happened and it started in 20. It started in 20 at the end of 2020, and it has just progressed to get worse.
So when I would go and apply for mortgage jobs, banking jobs, even now, 300 applicants, 400 applicants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They're very few and far between. So I have to cut back my budget. So that's why I go on 50-cent day.
okay,
And I'm going to help a veteran. My friend got a grant and they're going to pay me to go help him.
good.
So I'm getting out there. I'm going to do a page, I think, on Facebook with Can I Pet Your Dog? I'll come and walk your dog for you because I like animals more than people. And I really like Can I Pet Your Dog?
Well, I think that
But it forces me out. It may be a $16, $17 an hour job. I'm out of unemployment because you don't get it like, people got when they quit their jobs during COVID.
I don't know how people can stay on unemployment for years. I mean, because it's supposed to end at like 6 months or something like that.
Okay, well, Kansas changed to if the unemployment rate's below 5, you get it for 16 weeks. At 5 before it hits 6, you get 20 weeks. At 6% and above, it's at 26 weeks. Back in the day, when I got it in the 2008 banking crisis, which was for 4 weeks, it was 26 weeks. So there is thousands of people that are in banking and lending that have been out of jobs for over a year that I don't know how they're doing it. I do not know how they're doing it.
They're probably going into other types of careers, like doing claim processing for healthcare, or doing office management and light bookkeeping for.
Well, and I've had a few leads on that. And the other thing, I can go work at Amazon, but I don't want to work at 6:30 at night to 7 a.m. in the morning.
So during your interview, tell them you won't.
No, that's the only shift for Amazon. They've already offered me the job. My interview Monday is like I could walk there. I used to tease them, the people that worked there at the time, when I worked from home, that they were my coworkers because I'd see them every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I may have to take that job and the Amazon job just to maintain.
Yeah, it's the cost of living has gotten.
18 eggs is $5 here. 18 eggs.
18 eggs was $8.99, and when we were out, the spouse was like, "We don't need eggs right now." Okay.
We don't have a chicken shortage.
It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of drivers, delivery people that are putting those things together, gas prices. There's a lot of things that weigh in that a lot of people don't think about when they're looking at those things. Like there was again on Tim Pool, he goes, I asked somebody, what happens if you can't get food? He goes, well, I'll just go to the grocery store. What if they can't get food? They always have food.
No, they don't.
What? but the thing is that they don't know how the food gets to the store or how the store gets the food. So to them, it's like, I just go down and I buy it. It's like, no, there's more to it. There's a whole process that happens so that when you go to the store, there it is.
I mean, I've even considered going to be trained for HVAC, doing a totally manly job. Why not?
Well,
I mean, I get Mike Rowe. They do all these scholarships. I could go do that. I mean, but
there is something that keeps you from like doing office type work for like a small business, or because you have, granted, it's the mortgage industry, but there's still a level of understanding how money comes together, or how an office has to run. You have a management background.
I do, but then I've already gotten you're overqualified.
So you dumb down your resume. Trust me, my resume doesn't say CIO.
This wasn't a resume. This was just an application.
Don't put your titles on the applications, and don't put all the, I hate saying that because we've worked so hard to get where we are.
Yeah.
And that's pretty funny.
I know, right? Thanks, AOC, idiot.
Yeah. So, we work really hard to get where we are, and we're very proud of the things that we've accomplished. The problem is that the accomplishments that we've had are threatening to the people who have not accomplished those things.
Yeah.
So you put those things on a resume, and somebody has been sitting in that chair doing the interview, and they've been sitting in that chair for 5 years. They're not going to ask you what your 5-year plan is, because they already know what it is. It's to replace them. And that's the threat. when you have somebody who's a go-getter, who's going to achieve things, you're a threat to them. So being overqualified is their way of getting out of
And people don't even realize, like, can I manage people? Yeah. Do I want to? I can if I need to. I've been there, done that, wrote the book.
Yeah, no, but there's things you may have to lessen your resume to get your foot in the door. I had to do that. I got my foot in the door, and then later on they found out, yeah, I was a director, yeah, I was a CIO, but I was doing work. I was doing work that, like, I was doing things that they were like, we don't know if we need that. It's like, you will.
Well, I got on another.
So you've got to be in a place where you're comfortable enough to say, yeah, it may be entry level, cool, because within a year, you
Right,
go entry level to here instead of to here.
That's a good way to look at it. But I did have on one application again this week. Another question: if I plan to run for office in the next 2 years, why are they asking that question on an application?
Because
never in my career of working have I been asked if I plan on running office in the next 2 years. The next time I see that, I'm going to put, no, I have too many dead bodies.
Well, don't put the last part.
No, I'm going to. Because you know why? That will stand out.
Yeah, and it'll also go, you're overqualified.
That's Pepper.
Got it.
Mike likes to think her name's Schmeagle. She doesn't come to that. She comes to Pepper.
Okay. Well,
I'm the crazy cat lady.
I'm just letting you know that.
But thank you for that part where you said maybe entry level, but within a year you're gonna, because they'll see the potential.
Like, I went from a job where I could get all my work done in 4 hours, and the rest of the day I could do whatever I wanted, and that's where those negative thoughts came in, because there's no way that if I can get everything done in 4 hours, you don't really need somebody like me doing that, because, whenever I had a conversation with my director who I was reporting to, they were saying, well, you don't seem that busy. And I'm like, you pay me for my 25 years of experience. You don't pay me because I can get stuff done. And you pay me because my 25 years of experience that allows me to get stuff done in 4 hours. If
right.
you want, I can make it go 8 hours, but you could pay somebody less that will take 8 hours to do basic things. But
that is milking the clock, essentially.
Yeah. So now I'm, and I was making a decent salary. I mean, it was fine, and I could do whatever I wanted. But now I'm on a new team where I'm still not in a manager role, but I'm working with somebody who's a first-time director. So I'm pretty much advising. I'm in more of an advisor role, but I'm also doing system analysis and I'm considered expert systems analysis.
I had to Google the starting pay wage for this interview that I have on Monday, because I'm like, I don't even know what to say. Well, luckily this particular company went with some of the other companies, and their starting rate is $15 an hour. And at 31 hours is full time to them. You get benefits.
Yeah, usually anything over 30 hours is benefit based. Has to be.
Maybe I knew that, but I didn't know that because I've never been a part-time, never.
Right. It's a different world. You're learning all the things that your kids now are dealing with. You're now dealing with it.
Well, luckily, for years before I grew up, I worked retail.
Right.
So nothing changes. And this particular place, I mean, I caught a kid stealing and made them put it back and told them their parents were going to be really disappointed if they found out. Because I felt like they were stealing from me. It was my store.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah. I got a text from one of my friends and coworkers from the last couple places we've been, and she's struggling right now. And I'm going to have her come over because we try to meet weekly for puzzle day.
Okay.
Which we, do puzzles, which is good because it gets your mind off of it. And then Vicky and I will go and sometimes go to the 50-cent store.
Well, the thing is that start writing down some things that you're other than what you're doing right now, which is a very good starting point for a possible income stream. I think when you hit like 1,000
Subscribers, yeah.
subscribers, you can be monetized, or you can at least
you can be monetized and I think you get super chats and that kind of stuff. But again, if it wasn't for you, I didn't even realize I hit my first goal. So thank you for the reminder.
Yeah. So the thing is that start thinking about other things that you can do, like start your own Poshmark.
I really like the idea of, can I pet your dog and I'll go walk your dog for you.
Their dog walkers do okay,
but I love dogs.
If it's something that you want to do that you're not worried about how much you're paid, see, and that's the other thing. Sometimes people are looking for get rich.
Yeah, at our age, I just want to,
and
if you love your job, you never work a day in your life, and I want that.
Well, that's not true, but okay.
Well, it's not like oh,
every job,
you enjoy it.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it more, right? But if it's, as long as you're not worried about how much you make and it's something you enjoy doing, then do it and make it to where you're doing it at your pace.
Right.
Like if you're doing the dog walking thing, do it at your pace.
It should just be a side thing, side income, and any kind of revenue is okay.
Yeah.
But I enjoy animals, and I like to clean other people's houses. I just don't like to clean mine.
Yeah. Well, like the Mandalorian helmets that I sold at Christmas. I sold 3 Mandalorian helmets at $125 each. Well, they cost $50, and then I repaint them so that they look mirrored like they do on TV. So I redo those.
You should, if you have any, you should show them next stream. I almost bought the Captain America shield.
Mm-hmm.
They had the whole shield kit for kids, but I didn't want to spend 50 cents on Captain America.
So I
used a saber. What is it?
A lightsaber?
Yeah, to dig through the digging bins. I was playing Luke Skywalker.
I do toy refurbishments. So I'll buy, I have a Star-Lord blaster, orange and white, but I repaint it to look like it does in the movies. So,
well, I also picked up a few things that I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this to the side because even what I paid for it, like Thomas the Trains, they're ridiculously expensive. They were expensive when I used it to potty train my son. People, if you need to potty train your kid, do not use Thomas the Train as a potty training tool. You'll go broke.
Yeah.
But nobody picked it up. I'm like, that's Thomas the Train. I'll pay 50 cents for Thomas the Train.
Right.
I put it in, and I probably could sell it right now.
Yeah.
But those are the things. I bought a light that I'm going to put on Facebook. It's an industrial light that I picked up for $4.99.
Well,
it's $4.99 for that.
Like I said, start a Poshmark site.
Poshmark?
Yeah, Poshmark. And you can sell old purses. You can sell clothes that you probably never wore that still have the tags on them. You can sell just about anything out there. It's like having your own little store.
Yeah.
I think they get a percentage small.
Well, and one of my girlfriends is making some cups to put on Buy Me the Coffee site that will have FTLOG, which is always a conversation starter because people think you're saying foot long. If you're like, no, it's not filled long. There's no N. Or,
Right.
in US, which makes me want to say nuts, but it's not. It's no ugly strangers.
No ugly strangers. Right.
So
So
I'm working on that stuff too.
and the one good thing about the Poshmark site is it has all the tools built in for you, so you don't have to be a seriously technical person. You just have to be able to take a picture of what it is, you upload it to the site, you put it on the site, and you put some text to it and a price. They set up the shopping cart for you, so you
Okay,
know
I'll check that out.
you should check that out. It's and you know I think you can start the site for 30 days for free.
Everybody wants money. Okay, you're gonna have to hang on 1 second. So just talk to yourself for 1 second.
I'm not gonna talk to myself.
Nobody's gonna mind.
All right, nobody's been. Oh. So I can't tell who's in the chat because Stacy gets to look at all of that. But I hope everybody had a good New Year. I know mine was good. Hung out, and nobody got arrested or hurt. So that's always a positive.
I don't hear you talking to yourself.
I am talking to myself. I'm not talking to you.
Okay.
I'm talking to the chat.
You're talking to the chat? Okay.
Talking to chat.
Well, the other thing too is I'm gonna, the one thing what I'm gonna do on this for more content is I'm gonna do the mortgage stuff, and I know you've got some expertise that you could probably we could put some shorts out, or I could put some shorts out on your expertise.
Right. So I'm not going to do shorts.
I'll do them for you.
Our next live stream is going to be about our favorite conspiracy theories or ghost stories.
Okay. Well, mine are conspiracy facts, but yes.
Right.
So next Saturday
will be conspiracy theories
and ghost stories.
Yeah.
I love me some ghosts.
I'm going to bring up the old Alton Bridge when we were in high school.
I have the ghost talker on my phone.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but okay.
It talks to ghosts. I mean, I watched the paranormal nightmare TV shows, which is what got me on the kick with don't end a sentence with the preposition. Where are you? Not where are you at? Before the at, people. It's like nails on a chalkboard. So, but the other thing too is I am going to reach out to my contact Larry and try to set up an interview, and I want you to be part of that.
Okay.
And he's the one that I can't think of his partner's name. Not partner, but his business partner, that they're the ones in the tax case with the Clintons. So I'm going to see when I could do, when a good time would be that I can get together and do an interview with him. And so people know that case is still ongoing.
Right.
It just didn't stop when Mark Meadows was a total asshole to him on the hearing on the Hill. It's still going. So I'm going to reach out to him probably tomorrow, and then I'll let you know what he says, because we may have to do it on a special night with him.
We can do a special
Moynihan. That's his name.
Okay. And we can do a recording, and then you can.
Yeah. I wouldn't edit it because I don't know how.
It's okay. We'll get it figured out.
So, okay. Okay, so next week, conspiracy theories and ghost stories.
Right.
My favorite. Conspiracy facts for me.
All right. Well, mine will be, I'll even wear we should wear tinfoil hats.
No, because just remind me of that next week, and I'm going to tell you the story of my tinfoil hat.
All right. We will work on that. We will talk about that next week.
Because it's a hoot.
All right.
It was a hoot. So, okay. Right. Well, I'm a little cold. It's cold here. What's it like there?
It's cool.
It's cold?
Yeah.
You like my fat glasses?
I sent you pictures of the snow-capped mountains, so.
Let's see. It's 31 here. I wanted to go take a walk and went, no.
It's 44 here.
And I've been walking around with these big ass glasses on.
All right, you walk around with your big ass glasses.
Because I can't see a foot in front of my face. And now we know why I'm orange.
Right.
No sunset lamp.
Okay.
Oh, the other thing too, people, is I'm going to do a couple shorts on plants. Because I got not a green thumb, I got a green hand.
Yeah.
Talk to the hand.
All right.
In any case. Okay. Well, everyone, don't talk to ugly strangers.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, like, share, subscribe, comment. Bryan will read them.
I'll try.
I didn't even cover that part, so I have some other comments. By the way, I'm not bitter. People, guy thought I was bitter. Some said, oh, this is one I wanted to cover. One comment. Okay, grandma, go to the nursing home. I can't wait to be a grandma. So you didn't insult me, dude.
Oh, and there is something that I'm going to bring up at our next stream. I'm gonna need your help with something. Somebody has taken our father's identity using my address in Texas. I have their license plate number because I keep getting bills or late charges for those tolls. They use our dad's name and my address. I called them and said, we don't live in Texas. My dad doesn't live in Texas. And they're like, okay. I go, you have the guy's license plate number. Contact him directly. And like, but this is the address and the name that was provided. And I'm like, but I have his license plate number. And they're like, okay. Like,
there's
all right.
Identity theft is bad. And
Yeah.
with all the protections that are in place, you're still not protected.
Right.
And actually, one of our government agency is the worst at divulging your information. I mean, mine got stolen from Florida.
Yeah. So
we'll go over the stop gaps for that next week too.
Yeah, because I want my next thing is to just call the police in Texas and go, yeah, my truck is stolen. Here's my license plate number.
That'd be somebody's karma, wouldn't it be? Using dad's name, your address,
mm-hmm.
and in Texas. And you have the license plate. Text me do you have the picture of the license plate or you just have the number?
Just the number.
Send me the number when you think about it. Text it to me.
Something fun for you to do.
You think?
Yeah, I think. So, but yeah.
What part of Texas?
I think it's in North Texas. I think it's around.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
so, So yeah, I'll send it to you. But I forgot to do that last week, and I'm telling you this because.
Okay, I'll put it on my
a late payment notice. So yeah, so it's in collection, and that's what bothers me. So.
Well, it's just make sure you're keeping notes right now, and then send me the license plate information, and I'll have some fun this week.
Yeah, I figured you would, so I'll text you. I'll send you a picture of what I got. Yes.
Game on, like Donkey Kong.
All right. Well, I will talk to you next week.
Okay, everybody that's watching this in the replay crew, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share. We're not just covering politics; we're covering everything. And some days we may hit a nerve with you, and some days we might not. But we're gonna hit something.
Yep, we are. Until
next Saturday, I'll see you in the shorts. Oh, that kind of sounds bad. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys. See you later.